Sometimes people try to invade your boundaries because they don't know that you have all these high standards. They don't know what they can and can't get out of you. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, the Tanya Takeover, where I'm your girl Tanya. Today guys, we are talking about standards, okay? There are so many of us who are compromising what we like, what we feel, what we want, because we are just trying to go along with the flow. You know, we don't want to cause too much friction. We don't want to start a fight, okay? But there's still times where we have to raise our standards to get everything that we want. Now, I'm not saying, you know, be so high and mighty and so bougie that nobody can talk to you. If you don't speak to me a certain way, you don't reach my standards. I'm not saying that. But there's so many times where I have lowered my standards because, you know, it was just easier. People are more willing to deal with you when they realize that, you know, she's gonna take anything. You know, you could talk to her any way you want. She's just gonna take it. You can give her the scraps. You can just do whatever, and she's just gonna take it. And that gets old really fast. Now, I know I've been there. I'm sure you've been there too. So let's get into it. First things first, guys, when you're talking about raising standards, you have to make sure that you step up to the plate, okay? I cannot say that, you know, I want this multi-million-dollar house with these big cars and this extreme lifestyle without putting in the work. In order to have standards, you have to put in the work. You have to be something comparable. You have to be somebody worthy of having these things. You can't say, oh, you know, I want to wake up tomorrow and have all of these luxury things and you're not working to get them. You cannot say, oh, I want this man who makes millions of dollars and you're bringing in $1.50. You know, you have to make sure that you are doing your part. Once you raise the standards that you have for yourself, you're going to realize that a lot of things are just going to come to you. Wealth is going to come to you. Abundance is going to come to you. Blessings, happiness is going to come to you. But you have to be willing to put in the work on yourself. But no more are we doing this, okay? No more are we settling for less because we feel like we don't deserve it. We deserve everything we want in life, and we are going to get it. Now, this has caused me to miss opportunities. This has caused me to miss, you know, situations where I've put in places of opportunities, and I've decided that, you know, no more. So we're gonna do this together, guys. The first thing I would definitely say to do is to be more assertive. If you allow somebody to walk over you, take advantage, why would they stop? They're gonna love that, okay? They're gonna keep taking advantage. They're gonna keep walking over you. You have to be assertive. If you want to be spoken to a certain way, if you want to be treated a certain way, you have to let them know. You have to be assertive. And when I say be assertive, I mean tell them what it is, tell them how you want to be treated, and make sure you are tolerating no less than that. If you want to be respected, you have to tell them, I demand respect. If you can't respect me, we don't have anything to speak about, okay? You have to speak up for yourself. You have to communicate. Being assertive doesn't mean being rude. It doesn't mean being loud. There's different ways to be assertive that come with the territory. Telling somebody, listen, I don't appreciate that. Do not treat me like that. I am not willing to tolerate, you know, something that's less than what I am skilled for. As far as business or career moves, if you know that, you know, you are worth a certain amount and you should be making a certain amount of money, make sure that you are assertive. Speak up for yourself. You know, with my educational background, I realized that I should be making such and such salary. Why am I being offered less? And I know with my skill set, I should be getting more. Something like that is going to take you so much further down the line. It is great to, you know, get that job or get that relationship. But if you're in it and you're not happy because you weren't assertive and you didn't verbalize what you wanted and how you should have been treated, you're going to do yourself a disservice. You're always going to be looked over. You're always going to be underestimated. You're always going to be undervalued because you didn't assert that in the beginning. So make sure you are speaking up. And like I said, when you're being assertive, doesn't mean being rude or loud. It means telling somebody what you will and will not tolerate and going from there. Now, if you want high standards, right? You want this lifestyle, you want that career, you want to start your business, right? What actions are you taking to get there? What are you doing? Are you sitting back and saying what you will and will not tolerate, or are you going out there and showing, okay? I strongly believe that you can show people better than you can tell them. So what are you doing to show that you deserve this lifestyle? What are you doing to turn your goals into actions? Once you start doing that, you're gonna realize your standards are gonna be up because you put in the work, okay? There's a lot of people who, get this lifestyle and they don't understand it because they never have to work for it. But once you put in the work and you start putting actions towards your goals that you're trying to reach. For myself, I wanted to, say, retire at an early age. I wanted to make sure that I was financially, stable by a certain age, so I didn't have to go back to work. I didn't have to go and listen to anybody tell me what I should be doing or when I should be taking a break or, when I should be eating and when's my lunch. I didn't want that. Okay, so and before I had standards and saying, I will not be told when I could take a break, I started putting in action. I started looking at, different businesses. I started, researching how to invest. I started building up my credit, things like that. Putting actions to the goals that you have are gonna raise your standards because after a while, once I started getting that experience under my belt, nobody can offer me anything less. I was saving my money, I was doing what I had to do, and if somebody came and offered me something less than I was making or what I knew I deserved to make, I was like, okay, bye, thank you so much for the opportunity, I'm gonna go over here, okay? So make sure that you are aligning your actions with your goals. If your goal is to have this great relationship or be a housewife, what actions are you taking towards that? Are you, being more communicative? Are you doing your part, basically? And that's when you're gonna realize that your standards are gonna be so much higher. You're gonna realize, okay, you know what? I brought what I had to the table. Why is this person not doing the same? Why are they not putting in the same actions as I am? And you're gonna realize, you know what? Maybe this person is worth it. Maybe this situation is worth it. Maybe this job is worth it. And maybe they're not. And that's when you're gonna realize your standards have risen, okay? And you are good to go. You cannot say, I wanna retire in this house in the hills and you didn't do what you had to do. Be realistic, and it can definitely happen, but maybe it's gonna be harder to do it by this certain age. Or maybe there's gonna be a lot more time needed to put in the work. When you are realistic with yourself and your goals and give yourself a decent timeline, you're gonna realize, okay, you know what, I have to put in a little bit extra work, okay? I have to, slow down my timeline, build a foundation before I can get to where I need to. Having high standards is great, but you have to be realistic. You have to make sure that you bring what you need to the table in order to get what you want as well. Having high standards means, maybe this situation is what I want, but right now, it's not gonna happen for me. Right now, I'm gonna have to put in a lot more work. Maybe I'm gonna have to communicate a little bit better. Maybe I'm going to have to, train a little bit harder. Being realistic with yourself is gonna stop you from being frustrated and just giving up on your standards completely. Making sure that your timeline aligns is going to keep you motivated, okay? When you're writing it down, maybe I'm going to, maybe I'm gonna make a certain amount this month from, whatever I have planned for my business. Make sure that it's realistic. You cannot go from $0 to $5,000 a month without taking the steps needed to get there. When you're realistic with yourself, it's gonna keep you on point, okay? It's gonna keep you humble, I would say. Because there were so many times in my business where I went to say, you know what? I put in all this work, I'm gonna sell my product for this amount. And if nobody can buy it, whatever, I put in this work. It doesn't work like that. You have to be realistic. You have to take the steps needed, small steps at first, in order to get where you want to. The next thing I would definitely say to do is to know what you want. I feel like once you know what you want, you'll stop getting distracted by every little shiny thing that crosses your path. You can no longer be distracted with, a shiny car or a pay increase, but it doesn't have the benefits you want. You are focused. You are focused on what you want to accomplish, what you want in life, and nobody can bring that down. Having standards means going after what you really want. And once you know that this situation doesn't serve me, you're able to cut and move fast. You're gonna see that your time is no longer being wasted, guys. Once I realized that and started raising my standards, my time no longer got wasted. My time was more valuable because I knew quickly that, this situation doesn't serve me. This job that I see that's really great right now, a year from now, 2 years from now, isn't going to get me where I want to be. so I was able to cut and move quickly to get on the path of where I wanted to go. Having standards definitely helps you stay focused, helps you stick to what you believe in and go for what you want. Knowing what you want also helps you set boundaries. It allows you to kind of wean out the people who are there for a good time, okay? Sometimes people try to invade your boundaries because they don't know that you have all these high standards. They don't know what they can and can't get out of you. But once you have boundaries, you're going to realize you're going to keep everybody at a distance, and unless they come with the qualifications that you require, they will not have access to your time or your space. Having standards, guys, is the ultimate key to weaning out negativity, toxic people, and people who don't mean you any good. Make sure that you are going for what you want and sticking with it. There's so many times where we become yes people because we don't want the problems, we don't want the drama. But I honestly feel that saying no is a form of self-care. People will try to take advantage. They will try to put more and more on you. They will try to have access to your time. They will try to waste your time. They will try to drag you down. But once you're able to say no and mean it, people are gonna realize, you know what, I can't play with her. She's not the one to play with, okay? And they're gonna come to you correctly, and that's exactly what we want. We don't want the nonsense. We don't want the fake friends. We don't want the toxicity. We are keeping our space drama-free and positive, okay? Once you learn to say no, people are gonna realize, you know what, she's not the one. And also, you're gonna look around and realize that the people that you thought were there for you really aren't. They're there to, see what they can get out of you. But saying no is definitely a way to keep your standards high. Once you start saying no, they're gonna say, I'm gonna think twice before I approach her with this situation. And you're gonna realize that before you know it, people have risen themselves to your standards and are following in line. Okay guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe at the bottom, and let me know how are you guys raising your standards in 2022, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.